Hello. Welcome to another episode of Here's Me Talking. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about perception and how we as multiples can often perceive the world. A lot of times how we perceive the world also feeds into how we interact with the world, or in some cases how we step outside of the world. For instance, I developed agoraphobia, social phobia, and anxiety disorders because of how I perceived the world as I was growing up. Perception is very, very powerful, and perception can really take you by the hand and lead you through life. If you can imagine for a moment, let's go back years and years and years ago, when the body was still an infant, or at least a toddler. An alter's perception of the world is based on the first thing they see. And often the first thing they see is trauma. Sometimes an alter can be created just because the mind is susceptible to it at that point. If they've already split once, they can split again very easily. I think Jess from Multiplicity and Me sort of explained that in one of her videos, where once a system I don't want to say fractured or splits off or anything like that, because how I'm starting to understand MPD, DID is that it's not necessarily there's one person and then from that person comes all of these other people. I am starting to believe that there are situations where there's just a system within one body, and just through the course of life and through the course of situations, they become more vocal. But that's a whole other video. So I don't want to say that the alter split off. But, based on what Jess said, we can kind of go on the idea that they don't just split off more easily. They just they find it easier to be more vocal. My point is, when the system first experiences the world, boom, the very first thing they see oftentimes is the trauma that's occurring to the body. So their idea of the world is going to be so much more guarded. They're going to protect themselves from just about everything. They're going to be more standoffish. They're not going to be welcoming of other people into their lives. And if somebody tries to befriend them, then they have the tendency to sabotage those relationships almost immediately. A lot of my system did that in my teens and early 20s. A couple of relationships ended because of that, where they purposefully did things to try to get those relationships to end because they were just so tired of waiting for something bad to happen that they took control of the situation and pushed those people away. Point. When you first enter the world and you have all this trauma, how are you going to proceed in life? You're going to proceed in life very, very tenderly and very, very gingerly. You're going to, almost like when an animal sees something that they don't recognize, like a dog. If they see something in the yard that wasn't there a moment ago, they're going to approach it very, very cautiously, and they're going to see how dangerous it is. And if it doesn't seem to pose any threat, then they'll go into it more freely. Just the same as a person going into any new situation, or even just trying to be outside. Being outside for me it feels like somebody is punching me in the kidneys all the time. It's just a constant pounding. And when I start experiencing panic attacks with it, those sensations get worse, and it goes from feeling like somebody's punching me in the kidneys to somebody hammering nails into my spine. But that's because my perception of the world is very, very harsh. The light is hard. The sounds are sharp. Everything around me is difficult to take in because I'm so hyper vigilant on what's going to be around the corner that I can't stop and enjoy what I'm seeing. I think I would like to make a video on how I think that a system is created. Now that I have more information, now that I have different viewpoints, would you guys be interested in seeing that? Let me know, because I think I'd be interested in making a video like that. But I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend coming up. And again, if you guys have any questions, please keep the questions coming. I love these interactions. I love taking the time and hearing from all of you. And again, thank you so much for watching these videos. It means the world to me. You guys give me purpose, and I really do appreciate that. And I hope that you take something away from these videos. And again, I hope you guys are well, and I will see you soon.